Hey guys, welcome back to joining me on a festive video, my first Christmas video from not being in my house. As you can tell, this is not my usual standard of decor. We're staying in a very, very lovely hotel. I'll be telling you all about that in the coming weeks. But for now, the reason I decided to do a Christmas Eve video is because there has been some more news that has come out and it just got me thinking, a whirlwind, one of those moments where your brain just goes down, not so much a rabbit hole, but I was like, this is just another nail in that coffin. And I hate that expression, and it is meant to be Christmas, so I'll try and keep it fun. But for now, I'm pre-warning you, I don't have my equipment with me. As you can tell, I am in a hotel room. This is all on my phone. We're gonna wing this one together. I'm not even sure right now I can add images, so you might be stuck with my face throughout the entire video, but I'm going to do my best. So the story that came out, which piqued me, was Ashley Hansen. She is another member of staff, a very high profile member of staff that used to work for NBC Universal, that decided to work for Harry and Meghan, and she has been reshuffled, shall we say. She has quit, she's resigned, and she is joining a very, very long list of people. We've always said it's a revolving door of staff when it comes to Harry and Meghan, and I believe this further cements all of the stories about how they treated people terribly as part of the royal family. The biggest problem that people have got where they defend Meghan Markle and her treatment of others is there is one big common denominator. Not all of these people can be wrong. And notice it is always female staff, with the exception, I think, of one Archewell member of staff who left recently called Ben Browning, and he worked for Archewell Audio or Studios or Productions or whatever else those two have lined up. Now, the one thing that I am noticing with the members of staff that quit Archewell is that they don't seem to have the same watertight NDAs that were obviously restricting members of the staff that worked for the palace when they were full-time members of the royal family. Now we are getting little snippets, little angry things that are being slipped to the press. One of the things that's come out about Ashley Hansen was she said that it's very hard to work for people sometimes in this industry when they don't listen. We can all think who that is. But also that Meghan was in fact briefing the press throughout the Invictus Games. The media that she hates so much, the press were being briefed through a WhatsApp group for what she was wearing, what jewellery she was wearing, whether she did her own hair and makeup. Those of you that followed my videos then, I think it was pretty obvious, and it just further adds to the fire of the fact that Meghan was using the Invictus Games as her very own fashion show. I think that anyone that sponsors the Invictus Games should be becoming very angry at what Meghan is, by also as well what Harry is allowing to happen to a wonderful, wonderful initiative that all started off, and it's all to do with the military, the Invictus Games, you know, these athletes, the families, the stories. We've seen what they did with that Netflix documentary Heart of Invictus, which sadly it didn't take off. I don't think it raised the millions like they could have done, because Harry and Meghan, mainly Meghan, makes it all about herself. And the longer the organisers allow them to continue, the worse it's going to get. So with Ashley being in charge of them at the time, you can see why she's gone, do you know what? I'm out. I'm done. And we're seeing a pattern of this. So as I said, we had Ben Browning. He quit. He was an Oscar-nominated producer for Archewell Productions. Then we had Farah Taylor. She quit at the same time, Archewell marketing team. Mandana Dayani, she was president of Archewell. This was a big name for them to lose. Rebecca Sananez, now she has been one of my favourites because she did not care. She worked on archetypes for Meghan. She was so angry when she quit, when she left. She did a TikTok ranting about the fact that she did all of the legwork, all of the hard work and she doesn't even get credit. We know this about Spotify. We know this about Meghan's efforts for Spotify. It's come out that other people were actually even interviewing people that she had, and she just did a voiceover. They weren't called lazy effing grifters by Bill Simmons for no reason. Now, another big person who quit goes back to someone that worked for Bill and Melinda Gates, as again, these are highly respected professional women, and that was Claire St. Laurent. She actually, through the media, I guess it's through friends, had said that Harry and Meghan expected her to go over and above what her job description was. We know this because when they were in Canada and they had the Canadian Mounties, they had Canadian Security and Scotland Yard, they complained that they were being used to go fetch coffee and takeaways for the couple. As we know, this couple are so security conscious, they're sending the people that were there to protect them to go get food. Pretty demeaning for those officers as well. There is a regular pattern of respected professional women who have worked for many big companies, many professional people before Harry and Meghan, and they quit. I believe that they are treated badly. I do not believe Harry and Meghan to be good bosses. People do not want to work for them. They do not want to work alongside them, and people don't want to collaborate with them anymore. Dior was one that she started wearing recently. Harry even wore Dior badly to the King's coronation. We know that fell through. Then you've got Mark Benioff. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He is a billionaire and entrepreneur, and he is the man that owns Time magazine. Harry and Meghan, when they left in 2021, they were on that front cover with Meghan with lots of big hair, Harry with more hair than I think he's had since he was probably a teenager. And in 2022 and 2023, they didn't not only not make it onto the list, they were not featured anywhere. And when someone for the Daily Mail reached out, the response was, "We aren't involved in Archewell." And that to me says absolutely everything. You had Jeremy Zimmer, a huge Hollywood talent agency. He said that Meghan, she lost Spotify because she's not a great audio talent. We know that from Disney's Elephants. Disney knows it, Spotify now knows it. But he also went on to say that Meghan doesn't seem to have any talents. And I don't think that's entirely true, but I'm going to keep it polite because this is a festive Christmas video. But let's just say I think that Meghan's very good at grifting. She's very good at giving the talk, but she doesn't do the walk. She doesn't like to put the work in. We saw this with the royal family, and we have seen this with Netflix, with Spotify. As I said, one common denominator the whole way through. Even Sunshine Sachs, who are an emergency PR company. They are someone that Harvey Weinstein went to when it all started going south to him. These are the people that you get involved that can turn you around. They let Meghan go. This tells you everything. As I said in previous video, Ari Emanuel, do you reckon he's now beginning to really regret? He is trying to flog a dead horse, and they were apparently horrified, mortified over Endgame. Now, of course, Omid has denied that Meghan had anything to do with it, but sadly, or I say sadly, it's not sadly, we've heard it all before, the boy that cried wolf. No one believes that Harry and Meghan weren't heavily involved with Endgame because they never once spoke out against it, and we all know that they could have issued a statement. Harry and Meghan seem to only issue statements to correct tiny, pathetic, minute things like, oh, they called her Meghan, not Duchess of Sussex. She's quick to correct them. But when her father-in-law and her sister-in-law are being accused of racism, strangely, Meghan yet again becomes Ariel from The Little Mermaid and loses her voice. As for Harry and Meghan's work ethics, well, we saw that recently, didn't we? Archewell released a 60-second video. Don't worry, I'm not going to torture you, but they managed to cram all of their incredible entrepreneurship, all the philanthropy, all of the wonderful things that they have done into a 60-second clip of Meghan hugging people. And let's be honest, as I said at the time, the majority of the stuff featured in those videos is work done by someone else. Now, the UK, we did say, look, America, listen to us. It's not because we dislike Meghan because she's biracial. It's not because Harry married a biracial woman. It's because they're not very nice people. They had a terrible work ethic in the royal family. All they do is complain and moan, and they want something for nothing. And now everyone has seen this. I say Americans, I am not disrespecting all Americans, but you know, on Oprah, so many people that had previously not even been interested in the royal family believed all of the porky pies, the fibs, let's call it for what it is, the many lies that they told. And it earned them a legion of fans, especially because of the race baiting, which Harry has also dialed back. But all of that good effort that they put in at the time with the help of the Queen of Race Baiters, which is Oprah, was Spare. Now, Spare really was a serious undoing of the couple in quick succession to the Netflix wine-a-thon. People at this point had already heard enough of Oprah. We found out it had all been pretty much lies or fabricated. There are a couple of things that you can't prove, but it was pretty obvious that Harry and Meghan were not telling the truth. Then, of course, you had the Netflix wine-a-thon, and Spear, we're keeping bloopers in on this one. She even changed the narrative and the stories of when they spoke to Oprah on that show. Then Netflix changed the story. It became all the more melodramatic. And then, of course, Harry's Spare. You know, when Harry kept talking about his mother, he kept hair at the side of the bed, which Meghan, you know, held to work out whether she was going to be pregnant or not. It got very Norman Batesy. Then, of course, you had Meghan communing with Diana on her hands and knees with her hands held up against Diana's resting place, her tombstone, as Meghan communed with her mother-in-law. Anyone with a brain cell would have said red flag. This was not normal, but Harry lapped it up. And on top of that, we had very many conversations about Harry's todger. He tried to be a bit, I think, overshadow his brother's own wedding by talking about, oh yeah, well, I had a frozen blue todger at the time. But what made this, again, incredibly Sigmund Freud worthy was Harry talking about his frozen todger and the smell of Elizabeth Arden cream, how it reminded him of his mother's lips as he gently placed the cream on his old chap. You're like, seriously, you're having therapy, you're not having the right therapy. I think Prince William might have been correct when he said Harry has almost been brainwashed by a legion of terrible therapists, because sorry, there's something really not right with that man. Now, with the many things that have gone wrong for Harry and Meghan, you also had, I hate referring back to it, I've said it several times, but Oprah, because one of the biggest lies that they told, which, you know, this is the one that went around the world, people were horrified due to the race baiting, due to the racism of an unborn child. Meghan had said their security got cut off and Archie was never going to be a prince because he was going to be a biracial baby, which, as we know, that's not true. It's just that they become a prince and princess. They had the choice of taking the titles, and Meghan pretty much did like that, didn't she? The moment that the Queen had gone, it's like, we want Princess Lily and Prince Archie. And what happened to your lies on Oprah, where you said, boo-hoo, I want everyone to believe the royal family are evil because our children might be a little bit brown. Oprah's wording, not mine. Now, Harry and Meghan are unbelievably, well, not unbelievably, but they are still trying to blame the royal family for all of their bad luck. They believe people are pulling strings behind the scenes, that they are still trying to make sure that Harry and Meghan fail. They still cannot look in the mirror and say, hey, maybe we are the problem. Maybe we are the biggest hypocrites that the world has ever seen. This is why people are fascinated with Harry and Meghan, because they're comedy, they're fun to watch. They are an absolute psychologist's dream. No one's ever seen narcissism like this being played out so continuously on a platform. They are the junk magazine that many of us are addicted to, and that's why I enjoy talking about them. But they are very much the punchline of my videos, and I have no concerns that these two are ever going to damage the monarchy. All the money that they have made it off the back of trashing their family, Harry's grandmother's legacy. They are hypocrites. They are the biggest losers that Hollywood and the world has seen for everything that they could have achieved to what they have actually achieved. It's truly remarkable. Harry sure might have won a few tiny bits of court cases, but at what true cost? They are bullies who build themselves up by tearing down others. They whine, they complain, and they blame. And it's hardly any wonder that donations are dramatically down. Who wants to be part of that brand? They have become so desperate now to try and change their brand that they were actually photographed on holiday in Costa Rica with their children. Now, even if I did have my laptop here with me, I would not be showing these photographs. One, because I find them completely intrusive. It's not fair, and I wouldn't show the photographs if it was William and Catherine and their children. And two, I believe that Harry and Meghan have deliberately set up these shots. That's the main reason. I believe that Harry and Meghan are only photographed when they want to be photographed. I believe that they do sell all of these photographs to the media to try and get people interested. And I also believe that Prince Harry, who was once one of the most popular royals around the world, he was respected by many people, he was loved. People thought Prince Harry was absolutely brilliant, and now he has been brought down to Meghan's level, where he has to ring paparazzi and arrange paparazzi shots, because otherwise no one would know who he is anymore. No one in Costa Rica, I guarantee, was walking around going, oh, look at that ginger bald and tall man. That must be Prince Harry. Oh, look, that must be Meghan. People do not recognize them. And to give you a little bit of a clue where I am, and I will be sharing this with you shortly, I'm in America right now, and I'm in a part of America where beignets are a thing, and I can guarantee you the amount of people that I have met every single day, they're wonderful. No one has a clue who Meghan is. I am staying in a place where they have got cups and plates and tea towels of the Queen, of Prince Philip, of King Charles. Even Camilla has made appearances. We've got William, we've got Catherine, we've got Prince George, and I am seeing it lots of places I go. Royalists are out here, and there is not a single person that has spoken to me about Harry or Meghan, because no one cares about them. And that, to me, after everything that they did to the Queen and Prince Philip in their final years, all of the horrible allegations that they have allowed to happen to go towards their own family. I say their own family, but Meghan has been very cruel and unkind to her father, Thomas Markle. So, Thomas, if you're watching this, and Thomas Jr. and Samantha, I wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas. But I think finally, when it comes to Harry and Meghan, after all of the cruelty that they've inflicted on their own families, they've got a bit of Christmas karma. People are saying that 2024 is now going to be their year, but every year we hear that very same story, and yet every single year it just gets worse and worse for them. I personally think one of the funniest things, and I know this might upset some people, but it's only because I believe it was truly fake, was the New York car chase. Whoopi Goldberg called them out on it. The New York Police Department, the mayor, the taxi driver that they had their high-speed car chase through Manhattan in, called them out. There is no one willing to cover for this couple and their melodramatic, dramatic things that they try and put out into the world to make them perpetual victims. So for me, and I know for many of you, this is one of the best Christmas presents, because I was a little bit worried that they were going to damage the monarchy long term. But now everyone can see them for exactly who they are. And as I said, I just couldn't think of a better Christmas present for anyone that loves the royal family like I do. So guys, I will be back with you. I am going to do a cheeky video after this one. It's my mother's Christmas decorations. She's amazing. I love her. I'm not seeing her this Christmas. I love you, Mum. Mwah. And yeah, just enjoy. I'll release that after this video, and then I'm going to do some road tripping and get back to the royal family stuff with you guys next week. So for those of you that don't celebrate Christmas, happy holidays, and for the rest of you, Merry Christmas. Video, and I couldn't include a lot of footage, but Merry Christmas to one and all, and I will see you soon. Take care for now. Bye.